Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So, back to modding on the Blizzard FR. The gentleman that also has one of these things that I've been yakking with back and forth, and I'm also subbed to his channel, he let me in on that these pods are actually functional headlight pods and have the holders built into the clear lenses for 5mm LEDs. So I was like, sweet! I probably would have found out eventually on my own, just taking stuff apart. And they actually put screws on this one, which was nice. So real easy to get them on and off, which is cool. So I figured, well, I need to activate this sucker because I've already got my real strobe on there. I hated that fake thing. Who doesn't? Anyways, so I figured I'm going to activate these for now, and if they work well enough, that'll save me from actually spending, 23 bucks on a light bar, which I still might get anyway, depending on how these work out, but we'll find out tonight because I am going to shoot a night video with these headlights and see how they run. But I thought I'd shoot a little bit of video for you guys anyways on this one. This is the newest Kyosho Blizzard, and it does have stuff the other ones didn't, obviously, one of which is functional light pods from what I've seen so far anyway. I haven't seen all the models of the Blizzard, but I've seen a few. But anyways, so to get this done, the only holes in the Lexan, of course, are for the screws to put the holders on with. So you're going to have to drill holes just in front of those mounting holes, like just in front, about 1/4 of an inch in front roughly. And I used a 3.8mm drill bit, so you might want to do a Google search and type in 3.8mm to inch. That'll tell you what your SAE equivalent is, or non-metric, and that's what you're going to need for a drill bit, which would be actually a good suitable size because you do have to run your either your wires down or your legs. Now I ran the legs down from the pods, and I had to put a really nasty little bend into them, but you're going to have to put some shrink wrap tubing. I went with positive and negative so that it would protrude out the other end so that I could still tell without any hassle. So I do have positive and negative with the heat shrink tubing, and then of course that'll come straight up, and then you just bend it down once you get your JST connectors on, which is what I'm using because I want hassle-free changing of LEDs. I can change these things out in about 10 minutes as opposed to, maybe a lot more and more hassle, and, you're going to be tacking the wires down too, and you want to tack so that you have enough slack that you can actually pull the JST connector out of the way. Okay? And LED legs go really snug into these JST connectors, which is also a big bonus, right? Now the other thing, of course, depending how you're going to wire it, I'm going to go into the receiver off of a Y splitter because I've already got my beacon hooked in, so I've got a Y splitter here that I'm going to be using, and you're going to need a resistor that's going to take that power back because the receiver is going to put out about 6 volts, right? So you got to knock it down to just under, I would say, what the LEDs can handle. Now these are ultra brights that I bought from the States from an LED place online, and they can run up to 3.7 volts safely, direct in, and no hassle. So I'd knock the power back to about 3.3 volts with this resistor. Now to tell you what the color code is, let me just grab my magnifying glass, because what I did was I've got a multi-pack of resistors, and I just kept testing them with my multimeter with, I've got one of those BEC battery packs, and I've been using that, and I can tell what my voltage is knocked down to because there's 6 volts coming out of that, and so I knocked it down to 3.3 volts roughly, which is lots of power for the LEDs. I can't find my magnifying glass, guys. I don't know what happened to it. Let me see if I can read this. It's hard to see. Blue, looks like blue, gray. Oh man, I really need to find the magnifying glass. I'm going to shut the camera off. I'll be right back. Instant for you though. Okay guys, I found my magnifying glass. I gotta learn to put stuff away where I can find it. Okay, so what we're looking at... Oh, now I need a light. Jeez. Okay, blue. Looks like... Oh, some kind of other really super light bluish color. Oh, there we go. Blue, gray, brown, and then silver. So, off the top of my head, I don't know what the ohmage is. I didn't memorize the chart. I've got it on a computer, but my best advice is get a pack of resistors and just keep testing them. Put the resistor on the negative side. It doesn't really matter though, positive or negative. Then get a multimeter like so, and digital is actually the best to be able to read off of. I hate analog meters, but that's all we had at one time, but hey, digital rules. Anyways, and you're going to need 6 volts worth of juice, and just keep checking your resistors until you get within 3 volts to 3.3 volts. Okay, this one's running at 3.3, so you know I've still got a little bit of room to play with, which is good. So good to rock and roll. And now with as far as the wiring goes, you're going to hook these in parallel. Okay, so positive, positive, negative, negative. And then like I said, you can put the resistor apparently on either leg on an LED. I had bad luck with that once with the positive, so I've been going with the negative ever since, and I've never personally blown an LED ever since then. So I'm going to go with the negative on this one. But you don't want to put one on each. You only need one resistor to even run like 4 lights realistically, okay, because you're going all parallel. So you want to knock everything down to 3 volts and it feeds it all one shot, okay. So anyways, little by little, I'll shoot a little bit as I go along. Right now I just got to tack this stuff down. I'll do that. I'll come back after I'm ready to start soldering stuff, because I got to cut some extra wire up in here to bring it down. And then I've got my wiring here. I've got to add that in. So I've got to make sure all that splices across properly and tacked in place till I come out to about the same spot roughly in here, with where I want to have the wires. And then I'll throw that Y adapter in and we'll plug her in and see what she looks like. So hey, we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. This is instant for you. Okay guys, so I've got all the wires tacked down and routed, so everything's all good there. So now all I got to do is shorten the wires to where I need them, tie them, throw that resistor in. I've already shortened my receiver wire to where I need it to plug into the Y harness. So that's all got to get hooked up, and then we can fire this puppy up. And I left plenty of slack at the LED side. I'll just zoom in here for you. There's quite a bit of slack there, so that I can easily pull the connectors off without buggering up the glue or anything, and I'd be able to change out those LEDs if I needed to whenever I want. So that's great. So it's going along quite well. So hey, instant for you. We'll be right back. Okay guys, wires are now extended, and I'm using all the same gauge for this. I just cut a couple of extra JST ends because I got a whole box full of them, so no matter to me there. And of course heat shrink tubed after I soldered them together, so they're all good. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the tape is there at the bottom here, so that nothing shorts out. So I think I mentioned it though. So anyways, the next thing I got to do is to start running these wires on either side, and then bring them out into the middle section here, and then I can cut back what I need to at that point, and then add in, of course, my receiver wire. Gonna cut that to the length I need and wire that up with the resistor, and we should be ready right after that for test and see how she lights up on the Blizzard. So we'll be back instant for you, of course. Okay guys, moment of truth. Everything's wired, plugged in. Let's also hope I have the right kind of Y adapter in there. So, let's turn it on and see what happens. Oh, yep, we do have lights. They are not very bright though. They're a lot dimmer than I thought. They looked really super bright when I was hooking them up without them being in there, but it looks like these lenses kind of dim things out quite a bit. But it does have lights. So we're gonna definitely have to put in a whatchamacallit there, that Intigi light that I wanted. So these are good for, hey, it's got a little bit of light, because those lights are actually really bright the way they're wired, but just doesn't seem to be kicking it quite right. And I do have the right resistor, so they're getting 3 volts for each one. Actually 3.3, and which is more than enough to put these things bright. And yeah, that was a little disappointing actually. I would have thought it would have been brighter than that. I wonder if I move them onto their own channel maybe. Maybe I'll do that. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Instant for you though. Okay guys, next test. I've got them wired separately now off each their own channel. Yeah, that didn't improve a damn thing. That kind of sucks. The bulbs are set at the right angle, so that's not the problem. Huh. Oh well, at least they light up. I guess I'm going to have to see what kind of voltage is being pushed out of the receiver. Maybe see if I can zoop them up that way a little bit. But something tells me I'm not going to really be able to do too much about that. Yeah, they are running full brightness. Oh well, a good little night run ought to see what they really do anyhow, but I wouldn't expect anything glorious, that's for sure. But I think I'm definitely still going to have to go get that Intigi light, because that's not bright enough even for me. You know, I want this thing to pop, you know. And you can only drive so many volts into LEDs, so I'll see what kind of voltage the receiver actually is putting out, and maybe what's happening is I'm going to have to try a different resistor, or maybe even take out the whole resistor. I'm really not sure, because the receiver should be putting out about 6 volts. So, you know, and I know my battery's fully charged because I just charged it up, so it's fine. So I don't have lack of juice, that's for sure, because even the beacon's doing good. But we do have lights. Main goal has been accomplished. Now it's just a matter of a little bit of tweaking to see if we can get these things to go any brighter. If not, oh well, we put a big spotlight on the sucker. Because I did find one at Intigi that will fit right in here, no problem, and man, does that thing ever pop with brightness. So I won't have any worries there. And now I got 2 separate cables running through the back instead of running a Y. So even if I go back to the Y for these lights and the beacon, I can run the Intigi light off its own independent line altogether. So that'll work. So stay tuned for more mods as we get them done. And of course, more running footage too. I'm going to take this thing out tonight and shoot a video regardless. You know, just to see how these even look anyhow. But need another night video anyhow with the beacon running. So it'll all be running. So catch you on the next one.